Millionaires are going to be made in 2024 with this up and coming bull run, and I'm going to be one of them. Not only am I going to get into my predictions for the assets that I hold, but I'm also going to get into how I go about researching these projects, how I've diversified for the maximum impact, my plan for accumulation in the coming months, and how I plan on taking profits at what I believe to be the peak. But then it begs the question, what after that? What do I do with the money? We'll get into all of that in this video. Let's go. So the whole idea behind a price prediction for XRP, and trust me, I've gone into all the different ways that you can create a price prediction. I've basically discovered that it comes into two camps. You're either in the speculation camp or you're in the utility camp. And those are very different, because here you are speculation wise in the single digits of dollars. And on a utility side, you're in like the $10,000 range for an XRP token. But I've made my case for this in price prediction videos before, but I think it's healthy to at least remain and keep your plan consistent to a speculation environment so you can accumulate to a lower price point. Anything above that point is just a massive bonus. And especially if your exit strategy is structured properly, that's really going to pay you in the short term and in the long term. There's plenty of people that talk about the Fibonacci retracement tool on YouTube, and I suggest the best guy out of all of them is to go and watch Blockchain Backer. When you draw the full Fibonacci scale out there on the chart, the price over the scale of a full bull run comes anywhere between $11 and $13. And this really is where my strategy differs from most people. We're going to talk about that in my exit strategy. But I'm not using Bitcoin as an indicator. I'm not using individual charts as indicators as to when I leave the market for a specific coin. I'm actually using XRP as being central to my decision making in my other tokens, taking profits in my other tokens. That's because, if you're new here, this is going to surprise you. The majority of my portfolio is in XRP, but I'm not selling any XRP. So how can I be using the XRP chart to take profits? We'll get into that later. So essentially, I'm accumulating for everywhere between $8 and $13 for XRP in order to reach short-term goals. That fits within that Fibonacci scale and will inform the decisions in the other tokens. Now, I also hold XDC. Now, while I can draw the Fibonacci extension tool on the XDC chart all the way up to kind of 47 cents to 75 cents per XDC, I'm not using that indicator as my take profit point or my price prediction point. Like I said, I'm using XRP. I want to talk about that more later. But what I do hold are pre-IPO shares in Polysign and Ripple. I've diversified my portfolio in such a way to where I hold cryptocurrencies, and I also hold private equity in blockchain-based or cryptocurrency fintech companies. Regarding the Ripple IPO price, this is highly debated. My estimation is that we're going to see anywhere between $250 and $350 per Ripple share at the time it goes public. I do believe we see a lot higher than that as time goes on, as Ripple, the company, grows and matures in the market. But with the growth of my portfolio in XRP, in XDC, in the Ripple share value, and the other private equity shares I hold, we're already in the millions at this point, but I want to take it further. Now, I managed to get into Polysign pre-IPO at about $2.34. So even right now, the current price of Polysign shares are $3.34, and the projected valuation for Polysign when this thing goes public is up there at $30. So by the time all of that happens, I am well and truly a millionaire at that point. And this is where I want to get into the real value of strategically building out your portfolio. I mentioned that I have XRP and XDC. Those are really my only two digital assets. Well, that might change in the near future. I'll talk about that at the end. But many people ask me, why do you hold XRP and why don't you hold XLM? Because XLM and XRP are two of those tokens, like the premier tokens for utility, especially in the world of payments. And the reason I didn't do that is because I felt like there was a lack of diversification. Now, what I mean by diversification is diversification for someone who's wealthy means a different thing than diversification for me and you. Diversification for a rich person is to preserve wealth at that point, right? They're spreading into multiple different asset classes. The level of diversification I'm comfortable with is diversifying within the niche of crypto. And not just crypto, I'm also talking about private equity. Like I said, I have pre-IPO Ripple and pre-IPO Polysign. I've diversified within private equity within crypto, but within cryptocurrencies themselves, these tokens, these projects, I've also diversified. me holding XRP and also holding XLM, to me felt like owning the same thing. Not that they're going to do the same thing in the market, but they both cover a very specific niche, and that is payments. I didn't want to hold two tokens within payments. I'd rather have, okay, here's my bet within payments and here's my bet within smart contracts, being XDC. I felt that was the smartest way to go with the maximum upside while also diversifying a tiny amount of risk. That was all calculated by me and my risk tolerance. That also has to be done by you. If you feel the need to diversify into Bitcoin, gold, silver, absolutely do that. I have done that too in gold and silver. But make sure that your allocation to these assets matches your confidence level in certain outcomes. The big thing I always mention when I talk about confidence-based allocation is, let's say the Great Reset, for example. If the Great Reset happened, what is the best asset class to be in? Well, it's probably precious metals, right? Gold and silver. And so how confident am I that the Great Reset's going to happen? Well, for me personally, it's like 2 to 3% confidence. Out of all of the things that can happen, I'm 2 to 3% confident that the Great Reset will happen. So in that eventuality, how can I hedge my portfolio for that to happen? Well, I allocate a 2 to 3% allocation of my entire portfolio to that hedge into gold and silver. So that's how I calculate these things. You can do whatever you want, just explaining how I'm doing it. But it's not just about diversifying within your investments. It's about diversifying your time. People don't talk about this enough. It's so difficult in this cryptocurrency world to stay so focused on this one thing, right? We're just talking about XRP, we're just talking about crypto. It's mind-numbing at times. Trust me, I know. That's why I created the newsletter for people who don't want to have that headache of paying attention to the news all the time. But what I chose to do and incorporate into my plan to becoming a millionaire, and at least becoming a millionaire and also in the right mental space, and that I was happy to have spent all that time investing and learning and all that effort, is I'm also trying to build business. You know, I've built my mastermind. I've built this channel to a certain degree where it pays my bills. My mind has been focused on other things, as well as my investment growing and my research increasing and my team growing. I've also been diversifying my time. So another thing that most people don't realize is that my time has also been diversified into hobbies, which are now becoming fundamental parts of my life. There'll be more information on that later. But I'm a big golfer. I love golf so much. I love playing golf. And so not only have I researched and invested in cryptocurrency, not only have I invested and researched in private equity within cryptocurrency, not only have I hedged slightly in gold and silver, not only have I created business so I can keep my time busy and there's something for my brain to be doing when there's frustration in the market, I've got stuff to work on. It's a good, healthy space for me to be in. I've also been increasing my capacity to pursue my hobbies. So the last thing you want to do in preparing for a bull run is to get stagnant and get frustrated and angry at the market conditions. Give yourself something to do. Give yourself something to think about. And trust me, I know life is busy. I have a family, I have a child and a wife, and we're doing a home renovation. There's like lots for me to think on. But it's really important to have multiple things to do, to have a varied experience of the bear run, rather than getting down in the dumps. And I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I wanted to drive that home for you. Very fundamental to my plan to become a millionaire in 2024 is this way I've molded my life. I want to be in business, I want to be in investments, and I want to be pursuing a hobby. I've really honed in on that, and I'm a lot happier for it. I also think my time is well better spent on those other areas when I can segment them. So I'm going to give a list of cryptocurrencies that I'm looking at the end of the video. I'm going to put that right at the end. For now, I want to talk about my strategy for taking profits. I've mentioned that it's very important to be taking profits and not to be so precious about the assets that you hold, but also prepare yourself for that long-term nature of what we hold as well. This is all about the confidence. How confident are you that the assets are going to be used at full-blown utility and they're going to be everything you ever dreamed of? That's how much you should hold. And how much confidence do you have in the idea that we're not going to see utility for quite some time and we're just going to be bound by speculation, the normal movements of a bull run? Well, for me, in that case, it's been 30% that we're going to see speculation and 70% of that long-term attitude. So out of my whole portfolio, I'm taking 30% profits. 30% profits I have no problem taking. And within those 30%, my aim is to become at least a short-term millionaire. So how am I doing that? like I said, I'm paying attention to that XRP chart, the full scale of the XRP chart based in a speculation environment. We're talking about $8 to $13 for XRP. Now, there is a few fundamental moments in the crypto market that indicated previously that the top of the market was in. One of those things is the full scale of the Fibonacci extension. When you apply that to the Bitcoin chart, for example, it applied perfectly to the last bull run. Almost the 4.236 at the top, hit the peak of the cycle, hit that line, and the bear market started. It's such a great predictor of large movements over time. Applying that to XRP, when we hit those levels between $8 and $13, that's when I will start, regardless of the price of XDC, my other digital currency asset, I'm going to start taking profits based on what XRP is doing. Now, my final take profit moment for XDC is when the XRP market cap surpasses the market cap of Ethereum. If you think that has never happened, that has happened 3 or 4 times in history. And most notably, when it happens, that has typically marked the end of the bull run. So if we do remain in a speculation environment and that continues to happen, I'm waiting for 2 moments. I'm waiting for XRP to get between $8 and $13 and I'll ladder out a certain percentage within that time period. But then I'm also looking as the final trump card for XRP's market cap to flip the Ethereum market cap. When that moment happens, I am completely out of the market with my 30% that I'm taking profits. I like to think that's a very simple way of doing it, and it slightly leans on the more event-based exit strategy rather than here are set price points that are going to happen. Kind of a blend of two, and usually I think when you blend 2 different strategies, there's usually some golden nuggets in the middle there. So I want to get into some tokens that I'm looking at really closely and actually how I'm going to progress this thought even more. So the obvious ones are available for everyone to see. We talk a lot about the ISO 20022 tokens. This is a messaging standard that the traditional system uses that only certain cryptocurrencies have adopted in their progression into the traditional system. So when we look at those, you're looking at XRP, XLM, XDC, Algorand, IOTA, HBAR, and I'm forgetting something. There's 6 or 7 tokens there that really are on the everlasting watch list. I think these have all of the utility in the world. They're just waiting for that utility moment. Legislations are being put in that directly affect these tokens. But as I look at that, it kind of is a bit boring to everyone in here. We all know those assets. A lot of people are asking, what other assets am I looking at or interested in? And while I'm no expert in the vast majority of altcoins, and really any altcoins for that matter, I do know that what I've learned over this last bull run and the bear market is how to properly research a company or a project or a token. I know how to properly research that. It's just a case of time and dedicating time to learn those things. Now, I am starting in the, I wouldn't say boredom of the bear market, but when you're in the depths of the bear market and there's an alt season pending, like it's about to come, part of my mind does want to focus on these different opportunities that are arising in the general altcoin market. I'm talking outside the top 50 tokens. And as a result, and being exposed to different projects, and I'm in conversations with lots of people who know a lot more than me, I thought I would create one place to curate all of those different altcoin plays and the different things that people should be looking at in altcoins outside the top 50 tokens to have potential for the most gains. Of course, these are the ones that are the most risky to be in and the most volatile, so proceed with caution. But I thought I would deliver altcoin information just like I deliver simple XRP information to you, the audience, on a new channel. Now, I don't know when I'm going to start posting here, but the channel's been made and it's ready. And the channel is called Altcoin Advantage by Lewis Jackson. And on that channel, I'm going to break down all of the different projects that we see in the altcoin market. I'm going to select like a wish list, a pick list, and track the performance of that wish list over time to see how it does, just applying my research methods to general altcoins. And if you are like me and you've started to reserve some capital for this kind of like fun speculation trading, then follow that account. If you're not here for that and you're just here for long term, stay on this channel. That's absolutely fine. This channel will not be affected by that channel, but I think they can supplement each other quite well, giving a broader look at the cryptocurrency market rather than being so siloed into XRP and Ripple. If it's of interest to you, the link is in the description and you can subscribe today. I don't know when the first video is coming out, but you'll be there ready. So to summarize, I think XRP is getting to $8 to $13. I've covered this in other videos. I'm also using XRP as my gauge for what to do with my other digital asset, being XTC. I've also diversified within this niche, being some in private equity and some in cryptocurrency. I've also diversified as much as my confidence would allow in precious metals. I'm using the Fibonacci scale over the whole course of the last XRP bull run and bear run to predict that $8 to $13 mark. I've explained what I've done in the bear market to build my portfolio to where it is today. And I've also let you know that I've got my eyes set on some altcoins outside of the top 50 that some of you might be interested in. So I'm dead set on becoming a millionaire, multi-millionaire, hopefully 10 or 100 millionaire in 2024. A lot of things have to fall my way, and probably I would need some more money right now to do that, but the dream is there and the dream is alive. I think the dream is alive for you guys. What is your goal? What's the dream? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're wondering what to do with all of that money when the time comes, who do you call? How do I structure my business? Well, all of that information is in my 1% Mastermind, which was launched just 3.5 weeks ago. It's been a massive success. We've got 2 Q&As this month that are going to come out with experts, licensed professionals to talk about trust structures and whole life insurance that you can borrow against and get tax-free money in. It's amazing. These professionals are going to share all of their insights and answer your questions live within the Mastermind. So make sure you're joining that Mastermind right now while the prices for the Mastermind remain low. I'm going to talk about the Mastermind if you are interested for the last 2 minutes of this video, but for now, thanks for watching, stay emotionless, and I'll see you in the next one.
Over the last 6 months, things have started to shift. And by a shift, I mean over the last 6 months, more people who meet that high net worth individual status have been contacting, asking me if I can facilitate large crypto purchases, connect them with people in private equity. And I've found, quite frankly, that I've been quite good at that. And as time has gone on, I've really realized that I can connect people with some fantastic deals, great investment opportunities, and provide solutions for people at that level that you've probably never thought of. I acknowledge that not everyone is a high net worth individual, at least yet. And so that's exactly why I've created the 1% Mastermind. Over the last 2 years of making content, I've seen one of the biggest demands and needs of the audience is to have a list of professionals that you can contact when this whole thing takes off. When all the money comes in, our portfolios are of high value, what now? What do we do? Who do we contact? There's also a group of individuals that want to improve and do business and network among other millionaires to be. Nobody in the digital asset space has ever seen anything like this. Wherever you are in the world, the plan of the Mastermind is to be able to connect you with professionals, not only in accounting and tax and law and estate planning, but to connect you with individuals who actually understand the assets you hold. We know about this all too well. We call an accountant and you know more about Bitcoin and XRP than they do. And it's not just a directory of professionals that we're offering here. We also have unique investment opportunities for individuals, even if you don't meet the accredited investor requirements. When you think about diversifying your assets in the long term, you might be considering real estate, venture capital, private equity. You won't need to go over here to find a deal. You won't need to go over here to find a deal. It will all be housed in that one central location, and you'll be surrounded by individuals that are on the same page as you and want the same thing, not just for themselves, but they want the same thing for you. In addition to all of that, we'll also have a library of content answering your specific questions, not made for views, not made for engagement, but made specifically to add value to the library of content that there will be. As time goes on, the price of the membership will actually go up, and likely will go up every single week from here on out. So join the 1% Mastermind today, and I'll see you in there.